The Cognizant Classic starts tomorrow. The Cognizant Classic starts tomorrow. There's a joke in there. I'm Lawrence Presman. WagerTalk Today. Thank you for watching, guys. Hit that like button. This is the best daily sports betting show on the planet. The Cognizant Classic starts tomorrow. It's golf. Nick Borrman's joining us. He's going to tell us a couple of match play bets, an outright winner, 60-1. Andy Lang after that. The Cognizant Classic is starting tomorrow. We got Gianni The Greek joining us, and of course, Ralph Michaels. How are you, Nick? What's going on, man?
Hello, Prez. Everything's great. I'm getting ready for a golf trip, and couldn't be more excited to get my golf bag packed and ready to go flying and where it's somewhere warm. I'm still in the cold area, you know.
Nick, I got to stop the show for a second because I got to tell you, I appreciate Dan Alexander so much. I mean, mediocre producer, but a really, really great guy. And what I love most about Dan is that he gets my humor. You did not understand did you hear the joke? Come on, Nicholas. Anyway, the Cognizant Classic is starting tomorrow. Give us an outright winner. Let's start right there.
You want to go big on the outright market first? That's Lucas Glover for me, 60-1. He's just a guy that he just won't go away. It feels like he's been on the tour forever. In fact, this is his 16th start at this event, dating back 20 years to 2005. He's had a mixed bag of results over that span. He does have 5 missed cuts, but he also has 6 top 20 finishes, including 2 in the top 4. Obviously, very few in this field are going to know this track better than him. Aside from his history, he's got a tied for third finish this season at Pebble Beach. He had a stellar fall with 2 more tied for third finishes at the Black Desert Championship and the Sanderson Farms. Glover does have 5 tour wins in his career. He won back-to-back events back in 2023. One of those was the first playoff event, so very tough field there. So it's been 18 months since his last win, but that's nothing for Glover. He went a span of 12 years without a win, but he's definitely playing more consistent golf this part of his career than he was early on. But he really fits the profile, Prez, of a winner here, and that's ball striking, which he's very elite at. He's only lost strokes off the tee 1 season. We're talking entire season metrics. 1 season since 2004 that he's lost strokes off the tee, and only 3 times on approach. He's just consistently good tee to green, and that's what this course is this week. Is it's all about tee to green. It's not an easy course. It's pretty difficult, and the winners here tend to be the guys that just hit fairways and hit greens. And you're not making birdies in bunches, so it's not necessarily needed. So he ranks 11th in this field in strokes gained tee to green over the last 12 months, and 6th in this field over the last 24 months. So I like Glover, 60-1 to make a run. If you feel like you need to, you can always back that up with a top 10 or a top 20 as well. But I think Lucas Glover is going to give us a sweat on Sunday.
Guys, the Cognizant Classic starts tomorrow. Nick Borrman joining us. Welcome to WagerTalk Today. Nick, I hear you got an outright winner for us. What is it? Do you get my joke now? Psh.
Yes.
Okay. No, you still don't get it.
No, I don't.
Cognizant.
Yeah, you're cognizant. Cognizant of something? Is that what you're going for? You play on words?
No, it means I keep forgetting, which is why I keep doing the show over and over.
Like Groundhog Day? Over and over?
Dan, how do these people not get my humor? How?
It's a fine art. It's a fine art that you're dropping down, Prez.
The Cognizant Classic starts tomorrow.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Keith Mitchell. He's playing. You got a match play bet for him over Kurt Kitayama. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we had a nice matchup winner given out last week on the show. Hope to do it again here. Keith Mitchell. I think he's going to have a solid week, but really, I'm just not a believer in Kitayama right now. He had a decent fall. He had 2 top 10s in October, but so far in 2025, 5 starts, 2 missed cuts. His best finish, a tie for 37th. Going back further, in 20 starts dating back to the Houston Open last March, so nearly a full year, He has 5 missed cuts, which isn't horrible, but he only has 5 top 25. So the other half of his entire starts, he's finishing commonly in like the 30s, 40s, even 50s range as far as placement goes. He did finish at 3rd in this event back in 2022, but Mitchell has much better success at this event and has a little bit better current form as well. Not only is Keith a past winner here in 2019, he's coming off back-to-back top 10 finishes at this event. He didn't play in 2023, but in 2022 and 24, he finished in the top 10. And then opposite of Kitayama, Mitchell, he didn't have a good fall, but he's really come alive here in this season. He's a perfect 4 for 4 in cuts made, and his worst finish is tied for 33rd. So in this, it's a small sample size, but in this season, Mitchell's worst start is better than any of Kitayama's events in his best start. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in your current form heading into this event. So Keith Mitchell, minus 110, I think is a good price for him just to win. And this is a 72-hole tournament matchup, so it's all 4 days, not just round 1.
And I'll tell you, Nick, this is the one sport where form is really important. You look at betting NBA, and a team hits 30% from the floor 2 games in a row. That's a bet on team in game number 3.
Right.
In golf, it's the opposite, really. If a guy is out of form, we stay off of him until he is in form. Speaking of form, you're basically a scratch golfer. You're heading on a trip to Phoenix. If anybody's in Phoenix, hook Nick up with something. Some alcohol. I don't know, something yummy for Nick Borrman. Okay, brother. So before we get into your final bet, you are as good a handicapper as it gets when betting golf. That is your specialty. Tell us what you got going for the clients.
Well, the irony is my best package available right now is not in golf. We'll get to some good specials coming up as the majors roll around, but it's MLS. Season just kicked off last weekend. 6 straight winning seasons at WagerTalk in MLS.
Wow.
61% winners last year, over 60 units gained. We're going for 7 in a row. So 249, Prez, is the full season. That runs until December 1st. So great time to hop on board. And we're off to a 2-1 profitable start after week 1. So I hope to continue that. But that is the best promo going on right now at my page at WagerTalk.
There you go, Nick. I had no idea. Congratulations. Winning 6 seasons at anything is spectacular. That's really, really good stuff. Okay, Daniel Berger, top 10, plus 320, top 20 at plus 150. You come on here with some big dogs. I love it. Tell us why Daniel Berger is a bet.
Yeah, last week we gave out Steven Yeager in this segment, and he cashed in a top 10. And Daniel Berger, for full transparency, it's been a long time since I bet on Daniel Berger. Now, a lot of that had to do with the fact he disappeared for basically 18 months. He missed the second half of 22 and all of 23 with some major back issues. So as he returned last year, clearly he's a guy that needed to work his way back in the tournament shape and get the reps in, and his results were not that great. But you fast forward to now, it really does look like Berger has made the turn back into contender. He's got 5 top 21 finishes in his last 8 starts. He had a 12th place at the Genesis. He had a co-runner-up at the Waste Management Phoenix Open already this season. And he also finished runner-up at the RSM Classic in November. So combine his good play, which will bring confidence, of course, for him this week. And he's got good history at this event. He's got 3 different top 4 finishes in this tournament. So he's going to feel pretty good about his chances this week. I'm feeling pretty good about his chances this week. He's 28-1 on the outright market if you care to dabble in that. But at plus 320 for a top 10 or plus 150 for a top 20, I think he's well worth the play. So I like Daniel Berger. He's on his way to his comeback. And I think now is a good time to bet him because if he continues to play this well for another 2, 3, 4 tournaments, these numbers go away on Daniel Berger. He's a past winner, was very good. He was a top 10 player until his injury, so I think he's getting close to that again.
Nick Borrman joining us. He likes Keith Mitchell over Kurt Kitayama. Daniel Berger, top 10 finish, plus 320, top 20 finish, plus 150, and an outright winner, 60-1 on Lucas Glover. Nick, thank you, my brother. Have a wonderful trip. Way to go. Lots of love, and now you can leave. We got a big show still to come, everybody. Lots of basketball information coming away. Lots of hockey information. Shout out to all the guys who bought my 4% hockey play yesterday. I had the over in the Dallas-Columbia game. Nice way to start. 1-0, 30 seconds into the game. Game ended. I think it was 400 goals, give or take, 100 and give or take about 390, but who's counting? It won. I'm so appreciative. So many hundreds of you guys purchased that package. Guys, my NHL, I'm number one most profitable NHL expert. And if you listened to my every game on the board segment yesterday, I called almost everything. I'm waiting for Washington Redskin, our guy in the chat room, to compliment me on calling Calgary at plus 172. I know hockey. Please bet my hockey plays. Not just tonight. I have a great play tonight, but right till the end. I have a promo, Sport 50. You get $50 off of a month of my NHL. And honestly, if we weren't in the digital age, I would expect a lineup of people literally heading to the line. Like if we were only giving out 100 NHL months, I would suggest you get in line at around 2 a.m. because we're opening at 9 a.m. and it's only the first 100 that will get my NHL package. That is how sought after my NHL package should be. Andy Lang joining us. And Andy, we have two things to celebrate today. One is about Gianni. We'll talk to him later. The second, Andy, my mother turns 80 today.
Nice.
80 freaking years old, dude. She might be playing in the Cognizant Classic soon. Okay, that's a horrible joke. Horrible joke. But anyway, I want to tell you guys that I have two children, a 23 and a 21-year-old. When they do actually call me and tell me they love me or just to call me, just when I get to hear their voice, it makes my day. So today is my mom's 80th. I am obviously running out of days with my mother. Guys, call your mom today. Just tell her you love her. It takes one bloody second, and I swear to God, it will make her entire day. Andy, let's do it on the phone right now. Call your mom.
Okay. I got a lot going on.
Okay, we don't need to do it. We don't need.
Okay. Sorry, but my wife had cancer surgery yesterday, so I have a lot going on in my house.
Way to show up and piss on that segment. Okay, is your wife okay?
She is fine. She had melanoma. Had a chunk taken off her leg. She's doing great. She's sitting in the other room there. Got up, got her breakfast burrito. So I'd really like to congratulate myself on my bravery for being able to do shows while
Yes.
taking care of her at the same. I would really like to, shout out to all the.
Andy, I listen, I'm amazed. I'm amazed that you are strong enough to do these shows. Anyway, shout out to your dear. Shout out to your dear wife. Lots of love. We are a big fan of Mrs. Lang.
She's doing great. Thank you to everybody in the chat. She's doing great. And she just texted me that she's laughing because she can hear this. She is in great spirits. It's kind of a joke that we have going on. So yes, shout out to all you. And yes, call your mother.
Happy birthday, Mom. I love you so much. Thank you for carrying me for 9 months. Dad, I'm sorry I ruined your wife. But she did have 2 other boys that ruined her as well. Lots of love, Mom. Deep Fry lost his mother. I'm sorry, Deep Fry. And to all of you guys who have lost your mother, my heart goes out. Okay, let's move on. Paul George, NBA, you got a prop bet for us on him. Let's hear what it is.
Yeah, he's been an under player recently. I mean, the 76ers team is falling apart. Shout out to producer Dan, who at least has his Eagles to celebrate because it ain't the 76ers, but we're going to take his under 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Prez, he's gone under in 9 straight games, 4 straight games without Embiid. It looks like Embiid's going to be out probably for the rest of the season. My guess is they get him some much needed rest and surgery. He's shooting 41% from the field, 22% from threes. He's only getting 6.8 potential assists and 6.8 rebound chances. He's just not getting it done. I don't think the minutes are going to be there. And we gave this out as a free play the other day. It was 29.5. He's been so bad, the books lowered it to 26.5. So the books are telling us he's an under player. Take Paul George under.
There we go. Paul George under. Lots more UFC darts. Ralph Michaels joining us. Gianni the Greek. Shout out to Mrs. Selena Blackman. Happy 60th birthday. You're right in my age group. Kendrick, send a pic. I'm winking. Andy, UFC and darts, my brother. The microphone. I don't know what's going on with me today. I've lost the plot.
The Cognizant Classic is tomorrow. That's when you're at your best. A joke had me laughing. A joke had me
You got that joke, right? Nick was like,
I was laughing hysterically. It was great. It was absolutely great. So
thank you.
By the way, shout out Afghanistan just won in cricket. So awesome job.
Hey, one of our listeners made his first ever bet in cricket. I'm trying to find who it was on Afghanistan at plus 280 or something. Way to freaking go. That's why this show is so good. That is the show right there, everybody. Okay, Andy, the Cognizant Classic starts tomorrow, but we've moved on from that. Let's get into some UFC.
All right, let's take so let's take a plus 240 here. Somebody left a comment that I only give out minus 260 picks on this show, which is not true. I think I would be banned from the show if all I did was give out minus 270. Let's take Sam Patterson plus 240 over Danny Barlow. Prez, this is your classic striker versus a grappler, and Sam Patterson is this really tall, lanky fighter. He came off a Contender Series. He got knocked out in his very first UFC fight. It was a brutal knockout. What did he do? He come back the next 2 fights and he submitted guys. He submitted 2 guys in the first round. I think he can do that to Danny Barlow. Barlow is a good striker. I don't think he's amazing. He has this awesome nickname, the left hand of God, and he's got this amazing left hand, but last fight, he barely squeaked out a decision win. It was kind of low volume. Sam Patterson has 2 professional losses. They're both by KO. So that's the path to victory for Barlow. But if Patterson avoids a knockout and gets us on the ground, this is Patterson all day long. And Prez, the over-under on this fight is 1.5 rounds, and the under is juiced. They're telling you this is going to be a kill or be killed type of fight. Someone's getting finished. So I think Patterson at plus 240, when he's got the big advantage in submissions, is a really, really good look. If you want to add even more value to it, take Sam Patterson by submission, because I think that's how he pulls this off. But Sam Patterson plus 240 is an absolute deal at this line. So I'll take that one. And when we go to darts, there's a lot of plays that you could be looking at with darts. This is a tough week, but Michael Van Gerwen money line is minus 165. That's kind of on the border of, do you play that one by yourself or do you parlay it with? But Van Gerwen plays Rob Cross, who has been terrible, Prez. He's awful. He's 1-3 in the Premier League this season. And Van Gerwen has won every first match in all 3 nights of the Premier League, and then he's lost the next one. So you bet on him in the first round, and then you stay off of him in the second. You want a parlay piece? Take a look at Gerwin Price and Luke Humphreys over 7.5. Every single match in the Premier League for Price has gone over this, and Humphreys is 7-1 to the over. So you want a parlay piece with this one, you go ahead and add the Humphreys over 7.5 with Van Gerwen. But I think Van Gerwen gets out of the first round with Cross. And we had a question about Bunting going over his average. I would stay away from Bunting's average. He went over his average last week, but it's kind of lucky. He didn't have a lot of checkout situations. I think he has a lot more. I think he goes over, but it's a stay away for me in that one. And then there was another question about the Eagles not going to the White House. I can't wait for your take on this, Prez. The Eagles deciding not to go to the White House. I know why they did it. Do you?
The Cognizant Classic starts tomorrow.
Fine. That's your take.
I am under no circumstances going into there. Are you kidding me? Dude, all people do is yell at each other. You're a Trump fan, ass. You're not a Trump fan, loser. You're a Trump fan.
That's why
you're a Trump fan.
That's why they're not going, because they don't want to get involved. It's a no-win situation. That's exactly why they're not going. It's a no-win situation. So,
oh my God, dude. So but the thing is, and Dan knows this, Andy, I want to go there. Like, I want to do a political podcast. I want to talk politics. Politics is my thing, bro. I took political science in university. I majored in American history. I am completely enthralled with politics and culture, i.e., what's going on, anthropology, sociology, history, etc. All I want to do is talk politics, but I can't. And it sucks.
I know. It's the space we live in, but that's all right. I'm glad I don't have to. I think that would be a nightmare, waking up and having to talk politics every single day. I think that would be completely awful.
I think it would be. I think it would be amazing. And 10 years ago, I could have, and people would have been like, I disagree with you, Prez, but you still seem like a nice, warm-hearted, kind, loving guy. Now it's like, I disagree with you, Prez, and I hope you die.
I love Eric says they got to ask him to keep the tush push. Can you pass an executive order to keep the tush push?
The tush push is an interesting dilemma, though, for this league. Because, a lot of the guys, the talking heads are like, well, if you don't like it, stop it. It might be an unstoppable play, though, Andy. It might be one of those plays that
you can stop Josh Allen doing it. Well, there's a lot of people you can stop doing it. It's just one team does it better than the rest. That's so nonsensical. One team does something better than everybody else, so let's ban it. It's ridiculous. It's like, well, this one team can't throw the ball deep. They can't throw more than 40 yards. It's not fair. They're too accurate. It's laughable. Come on.
Okay, we done?
Yes, we're done. Go get my 30-day pass.
You know what's a great way to stop the tush push, guys, is be better on the play before it, and don't give them 1 yard to get the next playoff. How about that? Play better defense.
Who invited him into this show, Andy?
No, he's
that I control the microphones. I'm always invited.
That's a very valid point. It's a very valid point.
He's been riding the Eagles all year, and now they're Super Bowl champs. So he does kind of get bragging rights. Absolutely.
Well, there we go. Dan Alexander, everybody. Andy, best wishes to you and your wife, brother.
The Classic starts tomorrow. The
Cognizant
Classic is tomorrow.
Andy, lots of love to you and your wife. Seriously, man. I hope everything works out. And again, let your wife know that we are really impressed with your strength right now.
Will do. Absolutely.
Okay. Andy freaking Lang, everybody. Hey, there's Wash Redskin. Let me scroll up. Did he compliment me on my Calgary pick? No, he didn't. Oh, we got a gentleman in the room with the name Swish. That is a solid freaking name. That is like a DJ name. I'm DJ Swish and I'm on the mic. Blah-biddy, blah-biddy, blah. I couldn't even rhyme Mike. Ralph Michaels, save the show. How are you, bro? Yeah. Well, should we start with the Cognizant Classic? It starts tomorrow. Tomorrow. Thank you for asking, Ralph Michaels. My brother, we love having you on the show, man. I'd like to do a show just, talking to Ralph Michaels, frankly. Your shit, dude. That is for sure. Now I have to race around to find out what you are going to talk about today, because Prez is not prepared, and he's having cognizant difficulties, to say the freaking
Well, how
least.
about this? We're going to talk
Oh,
college basketball.
I
The
got
number
it.
one Auburn Tigers
Against Ole Miss. And I'm mad at Ole Miss. Ole Miss cost me a win in the last few days. This is on ESPN. Duh. Who's going to win this game? How do we bet it?
Well, two ranked teams. Auburn ranked number one. And to think how strong Auburn is, you look at their record. They're coming in at 25-2. Their two losses to Duke and Florida. Those are teams that have Ken Palm top 10 offense and top 10 defensive rankings. Again, Auburn clearly is the best team in my mind at this point. They started off 10-2 against the spread, but down the stretch, they've only gone 6-9 against the spread and 2-6 ATS at home. Remember, when you're that SEC team and you're the number one team in the country, you always have that bullseye on your back, and it's showing. You're laying the inflated numbers if you're backing the Tigers, and those dogs have done well covering. Ole Miss is also a team that started off hot, going 14-5. You know, they played a weaker non-conference schedule, though. Auburn played a top 20 non-conference schedule. Mississippi only played a 204 schedule. So for them to go 14-5 against that weak foes, it does show some of their weaknesses. They are 2-7 ATS their last 9 games. But when I look at Ole Miss, Prez, they had covered 6 straight as a dog of 2 or more. They're a team that plays solid defense. Their offense can go up and down into their three-point shooting, can get hot and cold, but they play solid defense. So when they're a dog of 2 or more, they're 6-2 the last 8. But I do want to mention that they lost the last 2 games, including losing to this Auburn team on February 1st by 10 points as a 4.5-point home dog. When I look at Ole Miss, when they are playing a good offensive team, they're 11-8 ATS full game. Not a bad number against an elite offense. But how about this? In the first half, they get off to a very slow start. They focus their energy on defense. It takes up some of their offensive prowess. They're only 4-15 against the spread against those good shooting teams, averaging 45% or better. I look at Auburn. When Auburn's playing a team with an upper tempo of a total of 147 or more, Ole Miss plays to an offensive tempo of 89. So they're in the top third of the fastest paced teams with the ball. But when Auburn has a high total of 47 or higher, they're 12-5 against the spread and 11-6 over under. Compared to when they have a low total, they're only 1-6 against the spread and 0-4 in SEC action. Now, I am going to go Auburn first half in this best bet. You're having to lay the 7.5. That's a very fair price because the full game is 13.5. You're usually laying about 55% in the first half. I'm happy with that minus 7.5 in the first half because Saturday, Auburn has to go on the road to Kentucky. So that's a big look ahead spot. So we'll grab Auburn early. I lean Ole Miss full game and Prez 2 database situations just to share. Number 1 team at home ranked, only 3-9 the last 5 years, 25% against the spread. And a number 1 team as a home favorite of 8 or more later in the season from game 24 and on, only 8-17-1, 32%. So both of those number 1 AP situations says fade Auburn. I'll back them the first half and fade them full game.
Ralph Michaels joining us, everyone. Ralph, before we get into NBA, let's talk about our college basketball special that we have going today. We have a end of the season special. You buy anyone's college basketball now till the end of the year, and there's still a lot of college hoops to go. It's only $199. That's under $5 a day. This is an outstanding deal. Do not use this package on me, please. I'm begging you. I don't want the pressure. My college basketball has been horrible. I lost again last night by half a point with a guy on the free throw line in Cincinnati. Missed the free throw. I lose the game. Do not buy my college basketball. Ralph, whose college basketball should they buy?
Well, I mean, right now at the site, no one's hotter than Ben Burns. I've had a very poor college basketball run the last few weeks, but just like the bowls in college football, the conference tournaments and March Madness are a reset. It really doesn't matter how good you've done in the regular season because things are so different. And Prez, just to show you some of the value in the rest of college basketball for $199, Selection Sunday is March 16th. The price scheduled for that Monday to get the rest of college basketball is $149. So you will get the first 16 days of March and the last few days of February, basically for just $50, a great value. Anyone at WagerTalk that does college basketball the rest of the season through the national championship, just $199.
There we go. Ralph Michaels, everyone. Okay, so Ralph, let's turn our attention to some NBA. I was on the Raptors last night. I lost Cincinnati by half a point, but I won the Raptors by a bucket. Well, half a bucket, 1 point. They were plus 11. It ended up being a 10-point game. And now Boston is in a back-to-back. They're on the road. They're playing the Pistons tonight. And the Pistons, man, this is a team that has won 7 in a row. Now, I don't think I'd ever would say that again, Ralph. I'm going out on a limb and saying they have not won 7 games in a row in the century. Well, here they sit, 7 straight. They just beat the Clippers 106-97, and they find themselves as a plus 4.5 dog. How do we attack this game?
Well, Prez, how about if I told you I have the last time the Detroit Pistons have won 8 in a row? That was 2008. So
I was wrong.
Yeah,
it was the century.
I will say this, Gianni, Detroit, and all the girls in the office, the Lions as good as they are. The Tigers going to be the leader in MLB. The Pistons playing like they are. The Red Wings perhaps making the playoffs. This is the year of Detroit, man. It's exciting being up there. And, Prez, I think that has a lot to do with this game. I really like this Pistons team of late. Cunningham has turned into a complete stud. And if you looked at just body of work the last 10 or 15 days, I think this game should basically be a pick-em. Now, you beat me yesterday head-to-head, Prez, because I was actually on Boston as my $5 play in the NBA. And unfortunately, like we see in the NBA, they decided just to rest Drew Holiday before the game without even announcing it. And then they sat Porzingis as well because they said they're a big favorite. There's no reason to get him. They'd rather have him play against the Pistons. So one of those injury situations you have to live with in the NBA. Boston with no rest this year is 5-8 against the spread. When Detroit has faced a team with no rest, they have covered 5 straight games, covering those games by 8.4 points per game. When I look at Detroit as a home dog of 3 or more, a perfect 6-0, they're covering those games by 11 points per game. When I look at Detroit at home against teams with a winning record, 9-2 against the spread. When I look at Detroit at home against teams with an excellent record of 60% or higher, they're 3-0. They failed to beat Boston, but they were getting 12.5 points. They only lost by 8. They beat the Lakers as a 7-point dog, and they covered against the Cavs. And think about this sample size, Press. Since 1996, this has only happened 17 times. Both teams are on a win streak of 5 or more games. Both teams have a record over 500. We're after the first 9 games of the season, so you don't have a 1-0 record. And you're a home dog like the Pistons are. Those teams, home dog, both teams winning records, both teams on 5-game win streaks, 11-5-1, 69%. And again, that goes all the way back to 1996. I look at the Celtics, and the one thing that jumps out to me is their last 5 games, they have not reached 50% shooting. They're a team that regularly hits 50%. And 3 of those games, 45, 46, and 47%. I think Detroit wins this game, covers the game for sure. But hey, In honor of VR, I'm going to say if you're going to play it, sprinkle a little bit on the money line as well and play those Pistons plus the 145.
Ralph Michaels, awesome stuff, my brother. What do you got going for the clients?
Well, as I said, it's a great time. While the college basketball special is great, right now, I still think the 30-day special has the most value. 30 days, under $10 a day, every sport. I'm doing NBA, college basketball, and NHL. I have a college basketball and NHL play loaded for tonight. Check it out, wt.buzz/RM, and follow me at Twitter at CalSportsLV.
There we go, Ralph Michaels, everyone. Before we bring on Gianni, we got to go through the NHL board. We also, really shocked at the crappy amount of likes. 186 of you in the stream, in one stream alone, right now. The one with Javier and Waj. 44 likes. Come on, man. Like, I thought I was pretty funny today. I think I made you guys smile. We gave you guys lots of great information. We all celebrated Afghanistan winning in cricket. I know that was given out yesterday, but hey, you could still hit the like button. You could also subscribe to our channel, so please do that. And I love all you guys in that room, in the chat room. Paul Bowman, nice to see you. Waj, Titans, Eric D. You Capper. Guys, make sure to check out Against the Spread. You Capper, Ronald Kabang, and Ski Profit tape that every single night. It's up now. Super fun show. That is for sure. So check that out. As for the 3 hockey games tonight, I'm going to make this easy. No need to cut this clip and put it up on YouTube. I like all 3 unders. It's that simple. All 3 unders. I like Winnipeg and Ottawa under. I like Colorado and New Jersey under. And I like the LA Kings Vancouver game to go under. Take all 3 unders. I know it's 5.5, which is why they did not make my client card. But that's where I'm going tonight as far as the totals. As far as the sides go, I have one up for my clients. Check that out over at WagerTalk.com. Gianni the Greek, we have some big freaking news in the Gianni the Greek household. Ladies and gentlemen, Gianni just got engaged. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
So
I did.
Yeah. So Gianni, I want to tell you this, and it's always interesting to hear this from, where you're not privy to the original conversation. Many months ago, Johnny and I were on the phone talking about you. And Johnny said to me, I swear to God, I have never seen Gianni happier in my life. That was not prompted. That was just like bam. So, dude, I can feel your energy every day.
Thank you.
I am so genuinely happy for you. I'm happy for your future wife. Congratulations.
Prez, it came out of nowhere. I was a free man after being 20 years married, in the worst situation, and the last 5 held prisoner because she was needed my income and would not let me go until I walked away and left a lot of money on the table to get out of that relationship. So I was a free man. I make a great living. I have some investments. I'm doing pretty well considering I came here with $600. I wasn't looking for anything like this. I was picturing myself, I'm going to travel the world now. I'm going to meet all kind of, the life that you're thinking. And that just didn't happen. It just didn't fulfill me, the thought of it. And then someone came along that just completely changed my life and made me like a much better version of myself. And I'm like, I'm going to do what makes me happiest. And I owe this to her to show her that commitment and stuff. So, thank you.
Firstly, honestly, I'm so thrilled. There is a motto out there when having a wedding and looking for good presents, and that is always invite a Jew. With that said, Gianni, Did you bet Afghanistan in cricket? I mean, how about our cricket guy? Freaking gets on the show last Tuesday, knocks it out of the park. Then gets on the show yesterday, tells us Afghanistan plus 2 million and they win. That is how you start, bro.
Exactly. That's what I said. I don't care what the sport is, Prez. If someone I know with certainty is beating a particular market, I want that information and I'm going to bet it. I mean, you'd be foolish not to take advantage of it as long as you could get down. I mean, listen, I like I said, I'm not going to be watching cricket, but if I'm going to see my account go up, that's all that matters at the end of the day. And he's a plus EV better. You already know that. He's a skilled guy and he knows the sport. It's again, he doesn't need me to promote him at all. Numbers are going to speak for themselves. And I make him a huge favorite to be profitable long-term at WagerTalk, without a doubt. Just hearing him, just hearing the man speak, you understand he knows what he's talking about. Like, again, I could sit across a sports bettor and within a couple minutes know who I'm dealing with. Just like you could sit across a poker player and with a couple minutes, you know what level of skill you're dealing with. It's the same thing with sports and blackjack for me. Within a few minutes, I know the source of information, and that's a golden source of information when it comes to cricket. Speaking of blackjack real fast, look what came in. Look what we got ready to go. We're ready to go. I did some stuff with Gianni yesterday. Monday, if you're a long-term guy of mine, email support. We're just going to take it on first come, first serve basis. Next Monday, I'm going to run a trial run with 3 guys so I could use some of the bells and whistles that you guys set me up with for the seminar. I want to make sure it runs smoothly. So then the following week, we are launching, baby. There's going to be an army of advantage blackjack players out there beating the casinos. You want to kick me out? That's fine. I'm just going to train other people to go out there and take it from you. That's the bottom line. So I cannot wait for these guys to come learn and then go out there and do some damage, man. I'm so excited for them and for what's coming up. Another winning night, Prez. Again, not to pat myself on the shoulder, but this is just what we expect now, day in and day out. It's 2025. Things are looking good, and got some more action for you. It's a busy day already this morning, brother. Already.
Yeah. Well, I had a winning night as well. I went 2-2, but I won my 4% play. My college hoops has been a disaster, but my NHL, unbelievable, Gianni.
I have an NHL play today. I'm just looking now at the plays that we've already bet, and I didn't actually bet this NHL play, but a guy I share college basketball with, because I got really good college basketball group that I move for, and NBA, but most of the NBA is props. I gave some totals out, I think, yesterday that did well, but most of their stuff is props, and it's so time sensitive, I can't really use it. But here's what they bet today in NHL. Where was that? Colorado. They bet the Avalanche at minus 140 to 145.
Yeah,
I don't know if you have an opinion on that.
So, my opinion is a lot of people have bet the Avalanche. I went to bed, it was 125. There's now 150 on the board, and this play does make a lot of sense. You know, you're getting a good team on a 3-day rest, playing at home. And what I like and what I think people need to pay attention to moving forward is, and this counts in both NBA and hockey. Hockey more so because it's about winning and losing and not covering spreads. Bet the good teams against good teams. Don't bet good teams against shit teams for the
play
next
down to the
little
level
while.
of competition. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Well,
no motivation.
And the intensity level, and you know, right now these teams are vying for playoff positioning. Another important factor is pay a lot of attention to interconference games, because those games only are worth a couple of points. Inside of conference, it's worth double the points because a team loses and a team wins. Again, when teams like Colorado play Dallas, or Edmonton plays Vegas, or, you know, Florida plays Toronto, there's going to be an incredible amount of playoff intensity. The next game they play out of conference against some shit team, bet the shit team.
Makes
So
perfect sense.
I just wanted to get that out there, my brother. Okay, Hoops, the microphone is yours.
All right, let me get to some NBA real quick because I did see some NBA. Here, I'll give you a prop real quick. Atlanta, Miami Heat, Khalil Ware under a half of 3-pointers. So, making 3-pointer under half at plus 120 or better. So that's under half plus 120 or better. And then another prop for you prop fans out there. We're going to go with another 3-pointer over in Toronto, Indiana, over 1.5. Pascal Siakam, Siakam, over 1.5 3-point field goals, plus 145 or better. So there's 2 props for you. I got a handful. I'll give you one more. Why not? Spurs Houston, Jeremy Sochan, Sochan, over 8.5 total points, good to minus 150. So they like him to score 9 points or better. I got a bunch, but let's get to college basketball. That's where we're getting really, really hot. 705 Citadel plus 16, 685 South Florida plus 2.5, 734 under 162.5 Kentucky, Oklahoma, 727 Penn State plus the 6.5. What else can I give you? 731 over 149.5 Bradley Valpo, 729 over 152.5 Utah, Arizona. Give you an extra game or two. 306-570 under 147 Radford Gardner Webb, and then 306-566 under 147.5 Bellarmine, Florida Gulf Coast. Another side for you, 699 NC State plus 1.5, 678 Maryland minus 3.5. Like I said, we've bet probably 30 plus moves already. I talked about it in the steam room, talked about it on here. I hooked back up with one of the best groups I ever worked with that I haven't had access to them over the last 4 or 5 years. And this guy's like a point man, 4 different groups, and they're giving me different markets. So it's just amazing. My goal has been narrowed down so the average person could get sharp info and actually use it. And my subscribers been averaging about 5-6 bets per night. Again, some days it may only be 2 or 3, but then Saturday, because of MMA, it's a little more, but we're averaging around there. So if you're betting multiple markets, it's really not a lot of volume. If you're doing NBA, college basketball, and UFC all on the same day, even if you have 3 picks per, you're going to have 9 plays on the board. But then on the other days where I just have NBA and college basketball, I may only have 3 max. So it averages out.
There we go. Gianni The Greek, everyone. What a great segment. Anything else, dude?
I fired the second 4% for UFC this week. There's 2 4% already in the system. Couple 4% coming in college buckets tonight as well. Excited for the weekend. And please, if you're a long-term subscriber, email them. The first 3 will be there for next Monday's beta, the final run through. And then it's on, brother. I want you to join us for that seminar, Prez. If you can't watch it live, at least take some time and watch the tape. You'll have 100%. Access.
100% I will, my brother. Of course. What a show. That was so fun. Anyway, in case you guys did not know, the Cognizant Classic starts tomorrow. Shout out to Nick Borrman, Andy Lang, Ralph Michaels, and Gianni The Greek on behalf of Dan Alexander and myself. Buy my NHL. Love you all. We'll see you tomorrow.